Hydra, Greek mythology. The Hydra was no ordinary monster. According to Greek legend, it lurked in the swamps of Lerna, a massive serpent with not one, but many heads. And here's the terrifying part. When one head was cut off, two more would grow back. Hercules, one of the greatest heroes of Greek mythology, was tasked with slaying it. But brute strength alone wasn't enough. He had to use fire to cauterize the stumps and prevent regrowth. Interesting fact, the Hydra symbolized problems that only grew worse when ignored. Even today, people use the phrase, a Hydra-headed problem, to describe an issue that multiplies the more you fight it. Yeti, Hyphaean folklore. High in the icy peaks of the Himalayas, locals whisper about the Yeti, the abominable snowman, a towering ape-like figure covered in white fur, leaving behind enormous footprints in the snow. For centuries, Sherpas and mountaineers swore they had seen it. Even the British explorer Eric Shipton photographed huge footprints in 1951 that many still debate today. Interesting fact, in Tibetan culture, the Yeti isn't always a monster. Sometimes it's seen as a guardian of the mountains, a spirit of the wilderness that punishes those who disrespect nature. Basilisk, European myth. The basilisk was called the king of serpents. Unlike a regular snake, this creature was said to be born from a serpent's egg hatched by a rooster. Strange, right? But it gets darker. Its stare could kill instantly. Its breath could wither plants. And its venom was so deadly, it left entire villages abandoned. Interesting fact, in medieval times, people believed the only creature that could defeat a basilisk was a weasel. Why? Because weasels were seen as fearless and immune to its poison. Phoenix, Greek and Egyptian. Not all mythical creatures are terrifying. The phoenix was a bird of fire and rebirth. When it grew old, it would burst into flames, only to rise again, renewed from its ashes. Ancient Egyptians linked it to the sun god Ra, while Greeks saw it as a symbol of immortality. Interesting fact, early Christians adopted the phoenix as a symbol of resurrection, and even today, the phrase, rise from the ashes, comes from this myth. Chimera, Greek mythology. The chimera was nightmare fuel, a fire-breathing beast with the body of a lion, a goat's head sprouting from its back, and a serpent for a tail. It terrorized the land until the hero Bellerophon defeated it while riding Pegasus, the winged horse. Interesting fact, scientists today actually use the term chimera to describe organisms with mixed DNA. Kraken, Norse and global seafaring myth. Imagine being a sailor centuries ago with nothing but endless ocean around you, and then seeing tentacles bigger than ship masts rising from the deep. That was the Kraken. Sailors said it could drag entire ships beneath the waves. Some say the myth came from real giant squids, which can grow longer than buses and were rarely seen alive. Interesting fact, in old maps, unexplored seas often had drawings of krakens. Eastern dragon, Chinese mythology. Unlike European dragons, Chinese dragons weren't fire-breathing monsters. They were wise, benevolent, and controlled the rain, rivers, and seasons. Emperors even claimed to be descended from dragons. Interesting fact, unlike Western dragons, Chinese dragons don't have wings. They soar magically, symbolizing wisdom and power. Even today, during festivals, dragon dances are performed to invite good luck. Kelpie, Scottish folklore. The Kelpie looks like a beautiful horse by the water. But if you tried to ride it, your hands would stick to its skin, and it would drag you beneath the surface to drown you. Interesting fact, some believe the Kelpie myth was used to warn children to stay away from dangerous rivers and lakes. Wendigo, Algonquian myth. The Wendigo comes from the snowy forests of North America. Described as a gaunt, skeletal figure with glowing eyes and antlers, it was said to be born from greed and cannibalism. The legend said that if a person consumed human flesh, they would transform into a Wendigo, cursed with an eternal hunger that could never be satisfied. Interesting fact, The Wendigo was more than a monster story. It was a cultural warning against selfishness and taboo breaking. Quetzalcoatl, Aztec mythology. The Aztecs worshipped Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. Part bird, part snake, it was not a monster but a god of wind, wisdom, and creation. He was seen as a bringer of knowledge and culture, and even Spanish conquistadors misinterpreted him, believing Hernán Cortés to be a god returning in Quetzalcoatl's image. Interesting fact, the name Quetzalcoatl means feathered serpent, combining the sacred bird Quetzal with the serpent. From fiery phoenixes to monstrous krakens, these creatures weren't just stories. They were reflections of human fears, hopes, and imagination.